Hey guys, so I've been using this camera for over 2 months now, and I've got to say, this might actually replace my larger mirrorless cameras. Keep watching to the end to see whether or not it will inform your purchase decision now that the DJI 4P is out. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. There were a lot of problems associated with the camera. They released two firmware updates in the past 2 weeks, I believe, to fix all of the problems. This is not exactly a scientific test, but rather on practical usability review. Without further ado, let's take a look at the image quality improvement for the Insta360 Luna Ultra. This is going to blow your mind. So first of all, I'm going to look at the standard profile on the Insta360 Luna Ultra, and there's a lot to talk about. Basically partnering with Leica, beautiful lenses. The first one is called Leica Natural, and this is exactly what it would look like. The second one is sort of my favorite. It's called Leica Vivid. So it's not overly exaggerated or overly saturated. I do love the colors coming out of this, and yeah, I'm gonna continue to use that one and also the Leica Natural. These two are actually my favorite. Now, next is the Leica Chrome profile. This is a little bit more desaturated, a little bit on the cooler side, just like any other Chrome profiles. If you like that type of look, I think it would be good for photography, but probably not my favorite for filming videos, especially talking head videos. It does make your face or skin tones look pale. The next one is called Positive Film. Warm, rich colors with higher contrast, ideal for street scenes and also landscape portraits. Great colors, not overly saturated, so which I really love. The next one is negative films. They sort of resemble a lot of the Fujifilm color profiles or film simulations, as we say. I do love this look. It's a little bit more desaturated and a little bit flatter. The next one is called Classic Chrome Film. So this is more vivid. The next one is, it's called NC Film. It's rich in colors, higher in contrast. It has that sort of vintage look to it. The next one is Fresh. I think where Fresh would actually be suitable for is in beach area, probably in Japan as well. A little bit more uplifting sort of vibe. And the last one is Cinematic. Now, this one is not my personal favorite kind of cinematic. I would actually want a flatter look for cinematic profiles. So now let's take a look at the iLog profile. iLog is a little bit interesting. So before there used to be, if you use auto ISO, it would, even in daylight, it would be applying noise reduction. So all your footage would be a little bit mushy. Nothing is exactly sharp, and also it's a little bit noisy too, even in bright daylight, which is super weird. With the new firmware, we got that fixed already. I absolutely love it right now. Can be absolutely confident to shoot an iLog and be able to grade your footage like you would normally do. In terms of slow motion, it does support 120 frames in 10 bits, which is more than enough in my opinion, especially when there is frame interpolation on software right now. So I myself, I don't really need a higher frame rate, especially when the file size does increase quite a bit when you have extra frames, of course, because it's basically doubled for DJI when it shoots in 4K 240p. In terms of resolution, there is up to 8K 30p. There are some caveats when it comes to shooting in 8K. You do get a little bit lower dynamic range. You do get a little bit worse in low light. I'm assuming there's no pixel binning when you shoot in 8K because it's using the full sensor. Um, so the full sensor actually supports 33 megapixels, which is exactly what 8K is in terms of resolution. Let's talk about the photo features on this Insta360 Luna Ultra. It's packed with features again. You do get live photos similar to what you get on the iPhone. Now, by no means my iPhone is a bad camera. I mean, the iPhone is fantastic. And it's always with me, so that's always convenient. But if you're on a trip, if you're taking it to a concert, if you are traveling elsewhere and you're bringing this camera with you, Well, I would strongly recommend you to use the photo feature on this camera. The 33 megapixels is a larger pixel than the iPhone because of the sensor size, and it supports 12x zoom. You do get a lot of Leica profiles to use it with your photo mode, the raw photo as well. So without any Leica profile, you can shoot raw and JPEG at the same time, similar to how larger cameras work. I would definitely say that the image quality coming out of the Insta360 Luna Ultra for photos is absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite feature on the Insta360 Luna Ultra is the ability to take 360 photos. You do need a tripod. You would need to wait for about 19 seconds to take 19 photos. So right after the 20 seconds, it's gonna stitch together all these photos. Another one feature that I really love is the time shift feature and also the time lapse. Insta360 may incorporate a motion time lapse in future firmware updates. Be sure to stay tuned for that. I'll keep you guys posted. And the last feature I would like to talk about for the Insta360 Luna Ultra is the Pure Video mode. Pure Video is able to take, night shots in pitch black darkness without any light source. Well, that's what pitch black actually means. When I'm comparing this against my iPhone 17 Pro and also my mirrorless cameras, this Pure Video was able to demolish them in low light. And that we're talking about pitch black darkness. We're not talking about just low light in general, but from no light source. So yeah, I would suggest you guys to use it during concerts, during night shots, whatever it is. Turn on Pure Video and you would be walking out satisfied with the image quality. The detachable screen. This is absolutely creative, and I gotta say, like, there's no other device like this where the monitor is also a fully functional remote. You can tweak your settings there, using it as a microphone. Also being able to zoom in, zoom out, control the lenses here, or control the movement of the gimbal. Everything is already on this device. The only downside, I would say, when you're detaching the monitor from your Insta360 Luna Ultra is that it does drain your battery quite quickly on the remote. And when the remote stops, the recording also stops. That's a major downside. And I would say probably lasts about an hour or so before that gets stopped. So if you're looking to record extremely long videos, like maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours, probably not the way to go. But that being said, I was able to walk out of range, not out of range, but about 30 feet away from this camera. I was still able to get reception out of it. However, I do get a message saying that there is a weak signal. I believe the newest firmware was able to update the detachable monitor and the connectivity issue. So I don't think that's of a concern anymore. So everything is basically fixed on the Insta360 Luna Ultra. And video-wise, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Everything coming straight out of the camera had great colors, great dynamic range. I believe it's 14 stops. Yeah, I would say user experience, this detachable monitor is game changing. Yeah, you probably don't need an extra microphone camera unless you absolutely want to. You could. The Insta360 mic is about $70 Canadian. You could get the Mic Pro for about $120, which is fantastic. I do have the Mic Pro here, by the way. So the e-ink screen with 32-bit recording. If you guys are interested, I'll also be posting a review on the Mic Pro, so stay tuned for that. I'll also be comparing the Insta360 Luna Ultra against the DJI 4P. So that was a beautiful transition to the Insta360 Luna Ultra accessories. Basically what I have here is a tripod. They also call this a mantis pod. I believe there is a tripod that basically sticks out from here if you want to put it onto a pole. So this locks it into position. Meanwhile, there are two extra legs So that's a tripod. So you can place it on, uneven grounds. You can put it onto a pole. It's pretty versatile, and it also retracts just like that. So it's pretty low profile, and you can also tuck it all the way back here. There is also I would call it a magnetic plate. So you can actually stick something onto it. So let's try an iPhone sticking onto, oh, that actually works. So if you're vlogging, this is a absolute necessity to buy for the Luna Ultra. I've also bought something extra. So this is the Camolo magnetic base plate. So it's not made for Luna Ultra. However, it does work. The quarter 20 thread is being screwed into the Luna Ultra's base plate. The only downside is that it doesn't really give me much elevation. So there's no tripod. It's not exactly super stable either. So let's say if you're a vlogger and you're using the Insta360, I guess, Mantis Pod, if you're placing this onto a table, there are rubber feet right behind it. So these feet will keep your Insta360 Luna Ultra stable. It's kind of hard to knock it down. Whereas if you were to use the Camolo magnetic plate, which I'm basically returning by the way, there's no rubber feet. So it doesn't really have friction on the table. If you're a vlogger, this is basically a must get. The second accessory I would actually get is probably the Mic Pro. Now this Mic Pro is, I'm not going to get into too much details, but basically, there are multiple ways to mount your microphone onto your hat, onto your t-shirt. It's magnetic, it has internal recording for 32-bit or actually recording directly onto your video. So it's really convenient. I would definitely recommend this product. Third accessory I would actually get is the ND filter, also the CPL filter. So the one I got was KNF set. The KNF set has 3 different ND filters and also a polarizer filter. So the reason why I didn't get a variable ND filter is, first of all, it wasn't really available back then. Second of all is, if I were to use an ND filter, it would probably be outdoors. And when it's outdoors, chances are it's a sunny day. And I'm gonna need a ND filter that at least is at 4 stops. So the KNF set actually has a 4 stop, 6 stops, and also 8 stops, I believe. So it's actually a perfect set for a sunny day, a very sunny day. If it's indoors, I will probably just take it off. So I wouldn't need a variable ND in my case. Other than that, there are a lot of accessories that you could get. You could get the head tracker, you could get sliding case, which if you do have a 3D printer, there's actually a STL file you can download and print for yourself. If you're interested, I can actually make a video on that as well. So who is this camera actually for? I think if you were to compare this against the DJI 4P, image quality wise, I think the 4P is a little bit ahead. However, the user experience of the Luna Ultra is way ahead of the DJI 4P. Imagine if you can tap your phone onto the Insta360 Luna Ultra, and that lets you transfer your photos just by NFC. That is absolutely non-existent for DJI. And it's one of these creativity and innovations that draws me closer to the Luna Ultra. And are we even competing in the same space anymore? Luna Ultra is for content creators. It's for non-professionals, someone who wants to get footage quick and easy to get something similar to a mirrorless camera. Whereas DJI 4P is for someone who actually wants maximum flexibility, someone who's on set for production. It's not exactly made for creators. This Luna Ultra has a specific feature that the DJI doesn't have, and that is the detachable screen, which everyone talks about, but I can't emphasize enough how important the screen actually is. And my final verdict is that this is finally able to replace my mirrorless camera. And I'm not going back. Happily not going back. And that's my review for the Insta360 Luna Ultra. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel and I'll have much more gear review in mobile photography, cameras for you guys. See you soon.